and what's happening and what's going to happen in the future. The difference between the stories of the Quran and the rest of them, and the rest of the stories in the different in other thing, in other place, not in the Quran. The first one, the Quran is giving the facts and truth, and the other one can give us like imagination or whatever I have in my mind. I can create a story right now. You know what happened today? I went to California and I came back. It was a short time. It took from me like 12 hours. From here in Anaheim, California. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because I was driving fast. Okay, I can give anything. I can, just creating something. Even it doesn't make sense or something like that, I just can give you something. And all of the stories you're seeing as a films or a series or, a TV's watches, it's coming from the mind. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the truth, the story, it means He's telling us the facts. On the other hand, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving me a story, subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He's giving me the main points and hitting the points to give me the benefit and lessons from that points. He's not wasting my time like the other stories doing. The most of the stories in our life just to make fun or to spend time or just have a good time together. Even if we are creating something just to fill the time with something happening. But when the Quran, we are talking about something completely different, And because of that, you're gonna find, subhanallah al-Qadir, a different place in the Quran giving a different images or a different snapshots about the story. And here we can give the part, and the other one we can give the other part. And if somebody asking why, I can tell you that story. Man and woman, they get married, but the man was really tough. The woman, she was really soft, really nice, and she was really patient with this man. And they had like a few children. Let us say, how many children you want? Like how many girls? 2 girls and 3 boys. In a while, the man still with the same attitude, but the woman, she was in the same soft ways, and they grow their children. In a while, the children, they were really nice people with their parents, especially with their mom, and they used to take care of her, and she had nothing to need because of her children, and all of that. How many subjects we can choose here? If we want to talk about the toughness of the man when he used to deal with his woman, we can take this part to give it as a benefit here. If we want to talk about the patience of the woman with her husband, we can take this part to put it in this point. If we want to talk about birr al-walidain and what the children used to do with their parents, we can take this part to put it in this point. If you're going to go through the whole Quran and see how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Musa alayhi salam and his people, you're going to find a lot of places in the Quran. Each one of them, you can get a specific point or a specific lesson to learn from this one. Just for example, can you consider قصة Al-Baqarah, the story of the Baqarah, the cow in the Quran, the Surah Al-Baqarah, a part of story of Musa alayhi salam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُكُمْ أَن تَذْبَحُوا بَقَرَةً قَالُوا أَتَتَّخِذُونَ هُزُوًا قَالَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ قَالُوا ادْعُ لَنَا رَبَّكَ قَالُوا ادْعُ لَنَا رَبَّكَ قَالَ الْآنَ جئت بالحق فذبحوها ما كادوا. This a long story came to talk about a point in the whole story. Can we consider قصة أصحاب السبت, just for example, as a part of the story of Bani Israel? Can we talk about how Fir'aun used to deal with them unjustly? All of that points, we can collect all of them together to find the one surah. And we can find all of that surah all of that stories or all of that parts as a one story in one surah and done. خلصنا يعني. How many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to the story of Yusuf in the Quran? How many times? Do you remember? For sure we remember Qasat Yusuf alayhi salam, Surah Yusuf alayhi salam. But we have another place in Surah Ghafir. You know? Do we have another places? Even if not, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the story of Yusuf one time and the story of Musa alayhi salam more than 20 times in the Quran? Why? Because the benefits of the parts of that, of, you know, if you're gonna collect the story of Musa like a puzzles, we can find the whole pictures, but each one of that puzzles we can get a benefit from that. You know what I mean? How many stories in Surah Al-Baqarah? Can we count together? Like the story of Adam alayhi salam and the story of Bani Israel, you know, and then we can say like the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam with his son, the story of Talut and Jalut. ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل إذ قالوا نبيا لهم بعث لنا ملكا. This is the story. ألم تر الذين خرجوا من ديارهم وهم ألوف حذر الموت فقال لهم الله موتوا ثم أحياهم. You know, and what else? Can you remind me? طالوت هو هارون هو الله يجزاك الخير. هارون وماروت. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Adam alayhi salam, we mentioned that. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. What's else? You know, how many stories we have in Surah Al-Baqarah, and what are the lessons for each one of them? We can make a session just to sit around each other, make a circle, and start studying the stories one by one, actually one by one, to see what is the results going to come to us through all of them. The first of all, the story of Adam alayhi salam. What are the lessons we can learn from this one? In my humble opinion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us example about the tabi'at, or the naturally of the human being. What is the human being means in itself? It means, you know, it means even if we have somebody has the highest level of ilm and the highest level of taqwa, maybe he's gonna make a mistake. Because Adam alayhi salam, he was there, seeing the angels, al-malaika, making sujood because of him. You know? And he's seeing that order coming from Rabbil Izzah subhanahu wa ta'ala to al-malaika to make that sujood for Adam alayhi salam. And he's facing the shaitan. When the shaitan came to him to whisper, he was facing the shaitan. And on the other hand, this is the highest level of the piety. In the other hand, subhanallah al-qadir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he told us, عَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. He taught Adam alayhi salam everything in this world. You know, if we can say, I'm sorry, I really apologize, I didn't know that, please forgive me, I didn't notice that. It doesn't make any sense with Adam to say that, because he already knew everything in this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him the whole names of everything. You know, are you sure he told him that ChatGPT or not? For sure he did, you know, or at least he gave him, alayhi salam, a hint about everything gonna happen during the whole world from the beginning up to the end. Subhanallah al-Qadir. Because Allah said, عَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. The AI, it was there at that time. You know, the IT people, they're gonna feel jealous because of Adam alayhi salam. Here, we can talk about a person, he hit the highest point of the ilm and the highest point of the piety or taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that makes sense to make any kind of mistakes? Because wisely, he's not supposed to do anything. You know, when I'm doing something wrong, the people come in, Sheikh, how come you are the Sheikh? With the Madd Lazim here, you are the Sheikh. How did you do that? I'm sorry guys, you know, it was a mistake. No, it doesn't make any sense if the Sheikh gonna make a mistake. Okay, we can see Adam alayhi salam making a mistake. In the other hand, we can see how can we say, the desires of the human being. And we can give the people excuse because of a kind of mistakes they already doing, because of what? Because of that kind of desires. When the shaitan came to Adam alayhi salam, he didn't show him like a beautiful girl and say, wow, if you're gonna do so and so. He came with his way, he convinced him. Because of that, you're gonna find that word, Sa'ad, hal adulluka. You know, he didn't tell Adam alayhi salam, can I show you? He said, hal adulluka I'm gonna guide you to do so and so, or to find the results at the end of the tunnel. You know, what does that mean? He used his mental side, or wise, to let him following the steps to make the mistakes. Because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called us, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. He didn't say وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا الشَّيْطَانِ. He said وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Because the shaitan will not come to me to ask me to make a mistake, a big one. But he gonna come to me to say, oh wow, Ahmad, you were amazing tonight. You did a great job, man. You gave a great lecture. The people, they were really proud of you, And next time I'm gonna come to you like, okay, I am here. I am, Because the shaitan made that in my mind, in my soul, in my heart, and made me bigger than what I supposed to have. And he broke my relationship between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the same time, he's coming to you to see, what's Ahmad like feeling that proudness? What is that man doing? He's doing nothing. And you're going to say, okay, well, come on, I will not follow his direction. He's not a right person in the right place, And the shaitan coming to each one of us to make his work over, in this point, he's whispering with a different way. When we go to the other point, he's going to whisper with a different methodology. This is the lessons we can learn from, just for example, the story of Adam alayhi salam. If we're gonna follow up with the stories in Surah Al-Baqarah, and this is your homework tonight, if you don't mind, to search about the stories of Surah Al-Baqarah, and Subhanallah al-Qadir, once we look, like just for example, the Qissat Al-Baqarah, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ By the way, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about Bani Israel, it's a story in itself. But it's giving us like a different snapshots from here and there. وَإِذْ فَرَقْنَا بِكُمُ الْبَحْرَ وَإِذْ نَجَيْنَاكُم مِّنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى وَاتَّخَذْتُمُ الْعِجْلَ. All of that points or snapshots, we can say, oh, this is the part of the complete or the full stories. What we can learn from that? The first of all, they broke their they didn't fulfill their duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them that responsibility or that position, they couldn't fulfill that duty toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of that, we're gonna find, subhanallah al-Qadir, at the beginning, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called them, Ya Bani Israel, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم. What he said subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي. اذكروا نعمتي التي أنعمت عليكم, and at the beginning, وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِي. Remember the blessing I gave it to you, and fulfill your duties towards me. You promised me you're going to do so and so. And that's what I gave you at the taklif, at the command things, and that's exactly what you said, we're going to do that. وأوفوا بعهدي أوفي بعهدكم وإياي فارهبون وآمنوا بما أنزلت مصدقا لما معكم ولا تكونوا أول كافر به. And I'm sure when we pass this point, we give like a hit about the lessons we can learn from that story. The story of Bani Israel, we can say this is the story. If we're gonna move to the specific points here and there, we're gonna find Qissat Al-Baqarah in itself. What is the lessons over there? The argue with the Sharia. The argument with the Islamic wise. When we hear that coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're supposed to follow direction. But we have to follow the direction from Rabbil Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, we are making ourselves like a partner with the decision with Rabbil Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, you cannot give us that direction. We need to do so and so. This is my comfort zone. I don't want to leave it. Ya Rabbil Alameen, don't ask me to do that. How come? Because of my ego. That's exactly what happened with Bani Israel when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked them to just slaughter this cow. If they chose anyone over there, it was more than enough. But they were really picky, not because they want to be more piety to Allah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but because of that kind of argument, they are seeing themselves with Rabbil Izzah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi al-Azim. When I think about this issue, it's gonna come to me when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking me, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, and I'm gonna make another decision in my life and doing something else. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Hayya ala salah, I supposed to say, Hadir, I'm coming. If we are doing something else, it means we are imitating Bani Israel when they said, you know what, أتتخذون هزوا, or ما هي, what they said, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, they said ما هي, ما لونها, ما هي, إن البقرة تشابه علينا. قال Allah Azza wa Jalla told him to tell them, okay, this is the description of this cow. Once I am saying, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, I have something to do else than the salah, I am making like Bani Israel, what they did actually. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked me to give this amount of money to somebody coming to ask me to help, and I'm choosing something else, I am making myself as a body of the Bani Israel when they used to argue with Musa ala nabiyina alayhi as-salatu was-salam. What can we learn from Qissat Ibrahim alayhi salam? I think we talked about the inheritance of the deen when we talked about the story of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhima as-salam. But one of the main lessons, are you really friends with your children or not? Do you have that kind of relationship, the friendship between you and them? You're talking together all the time? You're discussing about everything happening at home? Or you're making your decision and it doesn't matter what's going to happen after that? I don't care about you. You have to follow my direction. We have completely different ways. If your children really scared because of you or really fear you to, when you make a decision, they're gonna say, okay, Baba, how I will do that, And if you are taking a decision because you really trust, they are trusting you. And they're gonna follow you because of that trusting, not because of that kind of scare, And when we look at Ibrahim alayhi salam, he didn't just talk to his son. He made his son a part of his work. It means a lot. It means a lot. The most of our children, they don't like to be with us anywhere. They want to be with their what do you call it, machines, iPad, iPhone, any I in our world, and they trying to be separate from us. How can we make them with us doing the same thing, thinking together, making the same decision, looking at the future together? How can we do that? This is our challenge. Our homework tonight, too, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just to review how many stories in Surah Al-Baqarah actually, and what is the main lessons we can get from those ones, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us to the straight path. As you know, we have our responsibility about the whole community. The whole community, it's our responsibility. As a Muslimin in this country, we need to take care of the whole masajids around us. Because of that, subhanallah, I was part of that advice. If you wouldn't kick me out gently from here, I just give advice to my brother Adil and the rest of the board here. If they can make that kind of exchange because of the cost of the building and to pay the debt off and so and so, if they can make that kind of exchange between the other masajid, the other masajid gonna come to here, and you gonna go to the other masajid to just collect money I'm making. I hope this is a good idea, and I just like sharing you with the idea. If you don't like it, you can tell them don't do that. But based on my experience, it was the most successful way, to reach out to the masajid. Because subhanallah, right now, every community had a different project. And usually we have a 40% of the people, they don't like what we are doing. But they're still coming. Wallahi al-azim. They don't like they don't like, this is the sheikh, he's doing so and so. This is the board member. They have that point. But once somebody coming from outside, subhanAllah, can convince them to give like thousands of dollars, because of just one khutbah. They're not giving me, but they're giving the other people. Because of that, I'm going there, to get the money from the other kind of people the same every year and sending somebody to take their money. It's like, the circle. But it's a good chance for everybody to share the khair in the whole country. And in my humble opinion, wallahi al-azim, this is our investment. If I'm not investing here, I'm investing in a different place, and the other people from the other place investing here. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us to make our ability to raise our children with the right direction. يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت اللهم على الحق أقدامنا واهدنا سبلنا. جزاكم الله خيرا for your patience. بارك الله فيكم. سلام الله عليكم ورحمة الله.